just self-absorbed looking at their image like, hey guys, look at the fucking lens.
We're jumping right into foundation. Once again, I'm using the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Perfect Foundation in the shade F10. I found that this is kind of the perfect match color-wise for my face. I do tend to use lighter foundations because, as we all know, you can fix all of that with contouring later on. But I really like this foundation. I feel like it's very wearable, and what I mean by wearable is you can have it on for a long time. It doesn't separate. It's really, really nicely blendable, and it's buildable as well. So I really recommend it, and it's kind of a steal at about $12 at Ulta. Like I said, it's very buildable, and I really like it. I really do. My nose is big. I'm trying to, you know what? Fuck it. No, not that one, not that one. I got a skinnier one. I got a skinnier one. This one, this one. Okay. So today we're just doing like an everyday look. Like, this is a good look to do if you're like going out on a Saturday with like your friends, or like a Saturday, not a Saturday night. I guess you could do it on a Saturday night too, but I like to go a little more ridiculous with the Saturday night looks. So I'm just focusing on the skin today, like making your skin look real good with like minimal eye makeup. Not a lot. Like, I'm not trying to cut a crease. I'm trying to have lashes on. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm just trying to make my skin look nice. So I'm going in with a concealer, and I'm doing Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define in, what color is this? C6. Just put it all in the highlighting places. I've been using this concealer for about 2 weeks, and I do like it. I can't really complain about it. I like it. I'm also gonna put some on my eyes. I'm gonna use it as eyeshadow primer. We are gonna use a little eyeshadow. I'm not gonna say a little because honestly I don't know if it's gonna be a little bit, but it's gonna be something. I'm taking just like a small blending brush, and I'm gonna start blending out the concealer evenly, and I also bring it down to the nose. I have like a problematic area right here. It's really dark. I'm just gonna do that, and then I'm gonna work on the other one. A little red dot right there. I don't know what it is. It's like a broken blood vessel or something. I'm gonna like bring it down. I want to thank everybody that watched my last video. It was my first one, and I got a better response than I thought I was gonna get. So this is why I'm making the second one. I like to do it with a brush first because you can really like get the concentrated product in, and then you can really go in and blend it out with the blender if you need to. But I feel like sometimes when you do that, you don't necessarily have to. I'm just gonna do it anyway though, just to kind of show, and it just kind of blends it into the skin better. Oh, what's that? What's that? What's that? also like to put it over my eyebrows, just so it kind of gives it a more of a blank canvas for when I start doing my eyebrows, which is going to be in a little bit. And I just kind of look back to see if I need any more. I also like to put concealer on the sides of my mouth, because I feel like it's like a big dark spot area for me. And also down here. I think that the more you practice on your makeup, the more you're gonna find out what you like and what you don't like. And I am a firm believer that everybody can do makeup better on their own face than on somebody else's, because you know your face better than anybody else. You really do. You know how things feel on your face. You are your own best critic, I feel. Like, you know exactly what's gonna look good on your skin and what's not. I personally have never had my makeup done by anybody, because I feel like, I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I feel like I'm the best at doing my own makeup. I feel like I will do my own makeup on my wedding day. That's just like a personal preference of mine, though. Like I said, I know my face better than anybody else does, so that's it for concealer. I'm not gonna set it yet, but I'm gonna do my eyebrows. I'm gonna have a voiceover for that because I concentrate a lot on my eyebrows, so voiceover time.
And you find these at
And we're gonna move into the eyeshadow. I'm using the Morphe James Charles collab, and this is in the color Canvas. I'm just putting it all over the lid and all the way up to the brow bone. This literally makes your eye a blank canvas. So I really like it, and I use it for a lot of my eyeshadow looks. Right now I'm taking the color Mary, and I'm gonna put it pretty much all over the lid. I'm just gonna blend it in nicely. I'm pretty reckless with my eyeshadow, as you can tell. I'm not about putting it in a certain place. I just kind of put it all over and I blend the fuck out of it. I found that having really good blending brushes will really help out your eyeshadow game. They don't necessarily have to be expensive, as long as they do the job in blending. That's what matters. And I'm moving on to the other eye. I'm very reckless with this. I just kind of put it all over. And basically my goal at the end of the day is for my eyes to look semi-okay. I have to say that in the beginning of my makeup journey, I never had brushes. I just used the little spongy things that come with the eyeshadow. So I've learned a lot. I really have. So I'm just going to blend this out, kind of make it look even. And now blending more. And I believe I'm going to be grabbing the color Boutique, which is another really nice color. I feel like Mary and Boutique are meant to go together on the eyelid. And I'm just going to use a small kind of blending brush, and I'm just going to kind of put it on the outer V and into the crease a little, just to give my eyeshadow a little more dimension. And it's really not that hard. You know, practice makes perfect. It really does. At the end of the day, you know what's going to look best on your face, and we just got to blend that shit out. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm going to take some highlighter, and I believe this is Wet n Wild in the color Blossom, and it's one of my favorite highlighters. It really is. It was very cheap, and I recommend. No, no. Just continue. Que yo nunca lo he negado. No, no. Okay, so I'm just finishing up my eyeliner here. I tried doing it on camera, but it did not want to focus, you know, because I can't do anything right. So this eyeliner is Wet n Wild Mega Liner in the color black. This is my go-to. I've been using this literally for like 10 years. I don't really see a need to use any other one, and it's super cheap. It's like $1.99. You can buy it at Walgreens, CVS. You can probably buy it at Albertsons. I don't know what kind of places you like to go to. Walmart, Target, everywhere. The blush I'm using right here is a combination of a bunch of different ones. The two main ones are Fox in a Box, which I believe has been discontinued, and it's by the brand Hard Candy, which is a Walmart brand. The second one is NYX's Ignite, which is a really good dupe for MAC's Warm Soul, which I no longer buy because I hate the formula now. The highlight that I'm using is Face, which is one of the shadows in the James Charles palette. It's a pretty big shadow. I think it's a beautiful highlight for my skin tone, and I really like it. I usually highlight the sides of my cheeks, a little bit on my temples, the top of my eyebrow, Cupid's bow, chin, tip of my nose, and a line in the middle of my nose to get it kind of snatched. I'm still working on the nose contour and highlighting. I also use it to highlight my brow bone. I think it's such a beautiful highlighter, and he fucking did that. So I'm just highlighting a little bit of my nose. I usually like to use a small brush for this. You don't want to get a lot of highlighter, or else it kind of looks ridiculous. So right there, I'm just putting it out the tip of my nose, and if you look at me straight on, it looks like I have a smaller nose than I do. Contouring doesn't really work for profiles. It more works if you're looking somebody straight on. So I'm just grooming my brows a little bit. I did lose a little bit of the wing as I was putting on all of the powders on my face, and I usually like to focus my eyebrows getting the middle done and then worrying about the ends because you're probably gonna have to fill them in anyway. So I'm using, moving on to lashes, I'm using e.l.f.'s, I think these lashes are called Starlight. They're kind of like a wispy fake mink. They're only $4. This is my first time trying them, and I actually really like them. They're pretty affordable. When it comes to fake mink lashes, another brand I recommend is Eyelure Vegas nail lashes in Platinum Princess. Those are my favorite lashes. Buy them every once in a while, and I use them for like 30 uses. If you take care of your lashes, you can get a lot of use out of them. I usually like to dry them a lot before I actually stick them on my eye. It'll prevent them from getting all wonky. And I put my eyelashes on off camera because it's not a very pretty process. So I'm using L'Oreal True Mascara. I think that's the name of it, in Blackest Black. All of my mascaras are in Blackest Black. I really like black mascara. I even use it on its own without lashes, and it just makes my lashes pop. I usually like to put on some generous coats, and I never actually curl my eyelashes. I had a bad experience when I was younger. And I believe that's Maybelline's Falsies, also in Blackest Black. I've been using that mascara since I was in high school. Still my favorite one. Still a good go-to, especially if you're blending with fake eyelashes. It's one of the best ones, and it's like $4. So what more can you ask for? The only other high-end mascara that I've ever used is Lights Camera Lashes from Tarte, and I really like them. I had to buy them on QVC. No longer available though. I like to go in with a brown liner for a more like natural look. I think black is a little too harsh sometimes, and I think brown gives you just enough of that sultry effect when you're trying to put on some liner on the bottom lash. I feel like lower lash liner was really popular in the early 2000s and 90s, but I feel like we've been shying away from it and we've been focusing on more nude liners to make the eyes pop a little more. But they always work for a nice smoky effect. Right there, I'm smoking out my lower lash line. Um, like I said, I can't do anything right, and I can never actually look into the frame when I'm doing detailed work. I took a little bit of the color Boutique from the James Charles palette, and I'm just smoking out the bottom lash line. And yeah, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with that brush.